Welcome once again to the Damon Floyd Coaches Show here on Talk 101.3, where all programs are presented to you by L&B Appliance out there at the corner of Durkee Road and Water Level Highway. We encourage you to see Josh and staff out there for any of your appliance needs, repairs, or parts. They'll take good care of you. Coach, I'd like to congratulate you first on a big win. We hadn't played in a week, but 2 weeks ago we had a big win, countering rivalry, Walker Valley 35-0, and boy, a lot of things went well for us. Starting with the first time we touched the ball, Boo with a record-breaking 94-yard punt return. Then we had opening third, Jairus Rogers, a 70-yard kickoff return, and I thought that was maybe the one that's really stopped any comeback attempt. And we'll talk about Skylar Perkle too, but let's go back to the game itself. A lot of things happened good. I know you're always look for room for improvement, and you should be. But overall, you'd have to give the team pretty good grade on that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, you win 35-0.
It's a good win. But the frustrating part was, the interception we threw at the beginning, which Caleb was just a little bit off. We had the right read. If he throws a little bit wider, then it's a big game. Possibly, if he makes Jairus makes somebody miss, he can go for 6. But so those are the frustrating things. But yeah, anytime Boo, Jairus, Caleb, Jay Allen, we got guys that you get the ball in their hands, then they do something special with it. So. If I'm a kickoff team playing against us,
who do you kick to?
We've talked about that. We try to not change, but make sure we're aligned to where you've got to kick it to somebody, or you can onside kick it, or you can kick it out of bounds. So we should win field position battle when we're on kickoff return, and then with Boo's punt return, obviously you get it in his hands, and they outkicked their coverage a little bit, and then when they did, he just made them pay. But I will say we had a lot of guys doing a lot of good blocking too, but. Let's be honest, he outran them all.
Well, he said they noticed that Walker Valley liked to kick to their side when they're punting, which would be the left side in this case. And he said that ball just bounced up perfectly to me. And it got a great hop right in his hands, and he said it was money after that. And he took off, and that wall was set up, and you could just see it coming. I mean, he didn't really have to break many tackles, hardly at all. But
yeah, I mean, with his speed, I mean, I had somebody ask me after the game, is that one of those moments as a coach you're saying, no, and then yeah. It's like, no, anytime he wants to touch the ball, we're all for it. Obviously he gets double covered a lot, and it really opened up other things for other guys. And the good thing about Boo is he wasn't selfish about it. He's like, Coach, they're doubling me, let them have it. Like, we had 5-on-5 in the box on offense, and actually we had 7-on-5 if you really think about it, because with Caleb running and Jay Allen running. So it's not only what he does with the ball that's so special to me as a coach and a teammate, it's what he does when he doesn't have the ball.
Right.
He's our best blocking wide receiver. Like, it's not close. Yeah. He's one of our best blockers if you include the lineman. Like, he does so many things on the football field that impact us in a positive way that people don't see when he's not touching the ball. And as a coach, that makes you proud and fortunate to know you coach a player like that.
Well, and the return for the kickoff started the third quarter. Jairus Rogers, he caught that thing at full speed.
Yeah.
And brother, it went right to him, and he caught about the 30-yard line, and man, he was untouched. And boy, he can fly too.
Yeah, and he made a mistake early in the game, and he would tell you he fumbled the punt return, and when he came to the sidelines, he said, "I'm gonna make it up." And he did. And then when he came back after the touchdown, I just kind of gave him 5 and said, "Well, you made it up all right." So. That's the good thing is our kids want the ball in their hands. Yeah. They want to make plays, and they know that the way teams are playing us, when our opponents are on offense, they're holding the ball. They're running the clock down, which I would too if you're playing against us. I understand that. But sometimes on our end it gets frustrated because it's like in the first half we didn't get many touches offensively. We didn't have a chance to score many points because they're holding the ball. And, you fumble on a punt return, you score on a punt return. So our offense our possessions were very limited. So it was good for Jairus to return that and then also get a touchdown later in the game.
Well, let's talk about Skylar Perkle.
Yep.
Great game from Skylar, 5 for 5 on PATs. I think 2 kicks into the end zone, and you've talked about what a weapon that is on special teams. And then he was getting it deep inside the 10, almost every time, unless you want him to short kick. But he's really, as a senior, he's come around and doing his thing. And I think it's going to help him overall get his confidence up there and just create better things down the road for us there.
Well, that's the key word, confidence. And, he wasn't very experienced. He came out last year. He didn't play until last year.
Yeah.
if you're a kicker and you've never kicked with a lot of stuff coming at you, and you know Grant Haney was our kicker last year, so he didn't get a lot of experience. So I think Skylar's improved as the season started. Since the season started,
Oh yes.
with like you said, just getting experience. So if he can keep kicking in the end zone, man, that's such a weapon for us, field position wise. So was happy to see that, and then I think he's getting a lot more consistent on his kicks. You know, in practice, I mean, he's got as strong as leg as any kicker we've ever had. I mean, he's kicking 55-yarders in practice.
Wow.
Pretty consistently. So it's not a leg strength thing. It's just getting more experience, and I think as the season goes on, he'll be more of a weapon.
And there's pressure. You know, people don't understand that. And give Skylar credit, but you got a center, got to snap it correctly. You got a holder, got to put the ball down quickly and spin it the right way and all that. So it's a team effort there, just like it is for an 11-man team. Offense. We're after 34 points a game. Defense has been stellar this year, I think. 10 points per game. That's a 24%, 24 points per game average differential. That's pretty strong there. You're unbeaten. You're ranked number 1 there. A lot of things going good. Caleb Martin, passing for better than 200 yards a game. He's our leading rusher as well. So he's doing his thing. J. Allen Terry, he had 2 weeks off because of high ankle sprain, but we looked strong in the game Friday night. So Jackson Wilson feeling extremely good for him. Wasn't even a feeling. Jackson just stood in there and did what he needed to do. So you've got a lot of offensive weapons, and the wide receivers, we're hard to defend. I mean,
yeah. You know, we're fortunate right now, and you know, Jay Allen being out, and then Jackson goes in, then Jackson went out, Jay Allen goes in. So it's a good problem to have. It's like we tell our team, you got one ball. But the good thing is they've all bought in. They understand that their stats are probably not, as individual stats are not going to be as high as they would probably even like them. But, you know, the team's having success. So, once again, that makes me proud as a coach is that they're buying into team and not, you know, we talked about this year, team, not me, and or we, not me, as a team, and that they're buying into it. Because I don't know how good the stats are going to be at the end of the season. But, you know, the thing that they're buying into is that win column. And, you know, they're blocking for each other. When they do get a chance, they better make sure it counts because you're not going to see one guy touch it 20 times a game this year. Right. But it makes us more potent on offense. It's hard to defend. So, you know, as long as we keep executing, we gotta quit the turnovers. One of them was not my fault. We called a timeout at the end of the game and took a shot. Probably shouldn't have done that after a timeout. But, you know, and Caleb threw it up. Jairus actually should have became more of a defensive back right there. So, we want to cut out the turnovers because, you know, those are going to cost us later in the season. Can't turn the ball over 3 times and expect to win close games.
I was looking at year-to-date stats, and typically when a team is getting beat, they'll throw it a lot. Well, we've only had 46 passes attempted against us, but I got thinking, well, who are you going to throw against? Boo Carter, Marcus Goree back there. We don't talk about Marcus a whole lot because people won't throw over there.
Yeah.
You know, they know we can't throw there. We can't throw to Boo. Tito Williams, what are your Titos having? I mean, he's your leading tackler. He's one of your best wide receivers. I mean, he can do it all as well. I mean, and he's going to be playing D1 Saturday afternoon football next year.
Yeah, and then once again, we're fortunate.
Yeah.
I know I keep repeating myself, but the kids deserve a lot of credit because they are the ones making the plays. And now I'll say this though, you talk about Marcus, Tito, all those. We've got a total of 10 guys when you count Caleb and Boo who weren't here as freshmen that have started since their freshman year. So it's a very experienced group. Like it's I hate to say this, we may get tricked, but that's part of it. But it's hard to trick those guys. Those guys have seen a lot of football. They understand how to line up. They understand if a receiver cuts a split down, what routes may hurt us. And they're doing a good job of competing every play. You know, I feel like 2 balls that were called on us this year were probably on us just letting up. And you know, but you got to have those things to learn from it. So. Yeah, we feel good about our pass defense. We got to keep stopping the run, though. That's the thing. And the good thing is with Demarius and Mason on the edge, we're able to load the box.
Yeah.
And like you said, Boo probably won't have a whole lot of interceptions because if I'm game planning us, like I'm not throwing over there to his side, and Marcus the same way. So they got to throw it somewhere. And so far we've done a decent job of preventing those throws.
Well, you've done real good. And I was talking with Boo earlier this week in an interview I'd done for him earlier, and he's got Marcus and Tito Mason out there too, and those guys, as you said, the experience. They played together so long that they see your signals from the sideline or Coach Benford's signals, and said they got these hand signals they can do, you know, to flip it to do something different when they see what the offense is going to try to do, and that there's no there's no better thing than having experience like that in the backfield. And
well, that's the thing. Is like I said, most of these guys have played with me for 4 years.
Yeah.
So now there's rules built in that they know certain formations, alignments that they can check, and we give them the freedom to do that. The good thing is they do it. You know, a lot of times in secondary, especially in high school, a lot of the bust or missed assignments are because of communication. So as long as those guys communicate, we will give them the freedom to make certain calls. Now, obviously, they're going by the game plan, and there's certain tendencies we may see, but they've done a really good job of a team lining up and executing what they communicate. And I tell them, as long as y'all communicate, we're all on the same page, we're okay. We can live for another down. It's when one person's thinking one thing and somebody else is thinking different, and then we have a bust. But so far, they've not done that.
Well, it's worked out really, really good. We're going to take a break right now here for L&B Appliance here on Talk 101.3. We come back, we're going to talk about this coming Friday's game with Heritage Georgia, a team we've never faced before. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to the Damon Floyd Coach Show here on Talk 101.3, where our program is presented to you by L&B Appliance out there on Dirt Key Road. See Josh and the guys there for any of your needs along that line of appliances there. Coach, a new team we've never faced. They've only been around since 2008. That's Heritage Georgia, the Generals, they call themselves. We've been down there for scrimmages and for 7-on-7s and things like that, but they're coming to our place this Friday night for a game that I don't really know what to expect. I've not seen them play a varsity game, and I'm sure they were off last week like we were, so you couldn't go scout them live. But, you know, I don't know if scouting live is as valuable as it used to be, but maybe you see some tendencies on the sidelines you could pick up there. But what do you see when you see Heritage out there on film offensively? I know Coach Slaughter, E.J. Slaughter, by the way, former Cleveland coach, his son's one of the running backs. What do they try to do on offense for it?
Well, they're gonna slow it down again, like we've seen. It's kind of weird. Like we have all these athletes and all this speed, and you know, for so many years we face all these spread teams, and now we have all this talent in the secondary and stuff, and they're slowing it down, putting 2 tight ends in the game, and trying to slow the clock down. So it is what it is. But we got to once again stop the run. You know, field position once again will be huge because we don't want to give them short fields. We want to make them drive the length of the field, and hopefully they make a mistake before they get there. And then our front seven's got to play really well, and then we can't give up those cheap balls. You know, you can't take a play off and give up an easy one in the pass game off play action or something like that. But you know, we went against EK for even before he was at Cleveland when he was at Saudi Daisy. So we've always scrimmaged Heritage in the fall. So we're pretty familiar with each other, and you know, their kids they're well coached. They're really well coached. They play extremely hard. They have really good size. We obviously have the speed advantage, so we've got to take advantage of that on Friday. But they're not going to hurt themselves, you know. They're not Maryville. I'm not saying that, but they're a Maryville-type team where you're going to have to beat them. They're not going to come up here and make a ton of mistakes and then, you know, give you the game. So, like I said, very well coached, play with great energy. They're really good teammates. You can tell they play for each other. That's something they probably spend a lot of time in the offseason talking about, is being a great teammate. So a lot of respect for them, and you know, the thing that scares us is coming off an off week. Now, like you said, they are too, but it's like, how do you respond? So
Let's talk about off weeks. You've said in the past you don't really like off weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had a choice, where would you put that off week in your? You got 11 weeks to play 10 games. So everybody's got an off week, but where would you put that if you had a choice?
If I had my choice, we wouldn't have one.
Okay.
And I know everybody says, well, you get an off week, you get a chance to heal up. Let's be honest. If you're hurt, or the difference between injured and hurt, you're not going to be ready in a week. Mm-hmm. If it's that bad of an injury, and bumps and bruises,
part of it.
I mean, it's just part of it. So you're going to have those every week. So for me, I like routine. I like every Monday being the same, every Tuesday being the same, and so on. And then when you have an off week, it totally throws it off. And that's the scary thing is like when we come back, how do we execute? Like you mentioned, we weren't executing perfect, but we weren't really struggling. Mm-hmm. And now when we come back, it's been 2 weeks off, so we don't know how we're going to respond. So I just like routine, and it's hard, honestly, to create practices in the off week because you do have some guys banged up that you want to take care of them, mm-hmm. But then you also don't want to lose that physicality. So it's a fine line, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know exactly how to handle it. We handle it different from year to year, team to team, and we weren't very physical this off week. We tried to let them rest. Now we ran around, through, caught, that kind of thing, kind of work on some technique stuff, but hopefully when we come back, we'll still have that physicality that we had when we left.
You start game planning like a normal week on Monday, I guess, or after Sunday?
It was different this week because Heritage was off, so we did already get some film on them, and we went ahead and put the game plan in and did just some formation recognition stuff. Now EK for Heritage does a lot of formations, so they're going to try to out formation you and out leverage you, and if you don't line up correctly, they'll take advantage. So once again, you'll see a lot of our guys communicating a lot, make sure we line up correctly. So defensively it's formation rec. Now offensively, they blitz a lot. So Friday night we're going to get some. They're going to get some tackles for loss. We just have to, when we do bust through that first level. It's not the second level may not be there because they've blitzed. We've got to make some guys miss on the third level. And Boo's been doing that. Jerry's done a little bit. We got to do a better job. All the other guys. When you get past that first and second level, we can't have a safety tackle. So we got to hit a home run. So they'll blitz a lot, and we're going to have some tackles for loss. They game plan too. So we can't get frustrated with that. We just got to keep the chains moving.
You talked about busting through that secondary there, but as a coach, where do you see? Well, I wish we were better at this area, or this on offense, defense, special teams, or are they equal, pretty much, or?
It's a tough question because there's individuals that make mistakes at different times. Everybody on that field has made a mistake, right, including me.
Yeah.
So it's not like a total team thing. It's you want to be more consistent. Defensively, obviously, reading your keys. Sometimes we get a little selfish and we want to go after the ball instead of reading our keys and doing what we're supposed to do. Sometimes offensively we may get a little aggressive and jump off sides, or we may not line up exactly right, or we may run the wrong route. So it's just consistency at everything that we do.
That's the word.
It's not one, you want to stop the run. On offense, you want to be able to run the ball. We want to make every extra point. We want to end every possession with all those coaching cliches, but really it's just consistency from an individual battle that, we talk about winning the rep a lot.
Yeah.
If you lose the rep, you got to win the next one. So if each individual wins the rep, then good things will happen as a team.
And as always, the key, you've said this over and over, and you'll say it to the day you step down coaching, is eliminate penalties, eliminate turnovers, and get field position. I mean, those three keys will win you a lot of games if you can get there and execute your game plans.
Yeah, and those are the things we talk about. The good teams, they don't beat themselves. If you do those things, then you're beating yourself. So just try not to beat ourselves. We've already got an opponent trying to do it. Let's not help them.
That's right. We need a big crowd there. Our first home game in a couple of weeks here on Talk 101.3 at Bear Stadium here as the Heritage Generals come into town for the first time ever. We've not played a Georgia team since 1971. That's history, folks. 1971. So be there, support the Bear Nation and our team, our great team here. Coach Floyd, thank you again for being here. Until next time, we say so long for now. God bless and go Bears.